Hey guys, it's Mike. I want to bring you guys a quick video talking about as to why you should pull Xiao before his rerun banner does end. At the time of recording this, we have 8 days left, but once this gets uploaded, it'll be actually 7 days because this will go up the day after. So we have a single week left before our favorite emo boy is gone for maybe another 10 months to a year. Who knows how long it'll be. But for those of you who are deciding whether to pull him now or wait for somebody in the future, I can say for being someone who was kind of skeptical about pulling Xiao in the beginning, after pulling him, kind of researching his playstyle and actually using him, given that I got him on super early pity, less than 20 to be exact, ever since I pulled him, I literally have not gotten rid of him out of my team comp since. There may have been times here and there that I've used my old team comp that you may see in other videos, being my Xingqiu, Xiangling, Raiden, and Bennett. Sometimes Bennett may be switched out for somebody else. But ever since I pulled Xiao, I have kept him, like I said, in my team comp since I've had him. I'll switch out Barbara maybe for Diona or maybe for somebody else. But the last three are kind of who I have been running ever since I have pulled him. That being said, I have also more or less kind of retired my 𝘠𝘠𝑢 team. So I may end up just putting Xiao in my first slot, having Raiden in my second, then 𝘠𝘠𝑢 in my third, whatever the case may be, right? But why should you pull for him when there's only a week left? Well, I'll throw out some clips in the background right now. You'll see just how much fun he makes clearing mobs out in the overworld. And given that I don't have some crazy investment on him, I'm looking at around 90-90 on my crit damage crit ratio, being that's crit rate and crit damage. So he's not absolutely cracked out by any means. I still have a lot of improvement on him that I can go along with. Currently I do have him at level 80 and his current artifacts are as is. So he's running a 2-piece 𝘱𝑦𝘯𝑦 and 2-piece Viridescent Venerer, with his Sands being an off-piece. This kind of has been my off-piece for a hot minute now. I did recently get this Maiden Beloved set piece, and I just kind of threw it on him just because it was attack percent. But you'll see here I have another attack percent and a crit rate circlet. But that being said, again, I don't have the craziest artifacts on him. So on his first one here, I'm looking at an EM, ER, crit damage, and attack percent. This one is actually really good for him. The only difference would be maybe the EM could turn into crit rate. And if I was to have that, that would actually be a perfect piece for Xiao across the board. But this is what I'm running with. I did have this on him, and in fact, I'll put it back on him just so you can see what I was running prior. I just threw this on him actually today, maybe less than an hour ago. And this is what I've been running for a little while. But you can see as I go across here for my flower, I do have the 𝘱𝑚𝑦𝘯𝑦. For the feather, I do have another 𝘱𝑚𝑦𝘯𝑦, the Maiden Beloved set, a Viridescent piece, and another Viridescent piece. My philosophy behind it is to have his flower and feather be a 𝘱𝑚𝑦𝘯𝑦 piece, and the rest of them be maybe Viridescent and an off piece, just because these can pull maybe a Nemo damage bonus, attack percent, crit rate, or crit damage, and I want these to be pieces that I can fluctuate. I want these two pieces to more or less kind of become perfect and essentially just set it and forget it. With the team that I currently have being Barbara, Sucrose, Xiao, and Bennett, I can substitute Barbara for maybe Diona, maybe Raiden, or anyone else who needs to fill, run the exact same team with Sucrose, Xiao, and Bennett, and I can clear pretty much every single domain at level 90 with very minor hiccups. Maybe here and there I may die, but it's to be expected given that I don't, again, have a cracked out Xiao, let alone even a full cracked out team. My shortcoming definitely has been focusing 99% of my time on Xiao. Given now that I'm able to hit 20Ks plus with him, I should be focusing on my supports. But every day I wake up and just decide I want to hit harder with him, and that's just how I play the game. But as far as Xiao's playstyle, he is very greedy when it comes to playing. He wants to be on field most of the time. And when I say most of the time, I truly do mean that in a full sense. Really, the only time you will not have Xiao on field is when you are switching through your supports to get their burst up, and then you switch back to Xiao. Another thing as well is Xiao has very horrible energy recharge issues. That being said, you will need to run a battery with him, and my battery of choice is Sucrose, just because she is able to run Thrilling Tales of Dragon Slayers, which at R5 gives me a 48% increase at for 10 seconds, and Xiao's burst lasts 15 seconds, so while it may not last the full duration, those first few hits definitely do make a difference. Not only that, when I use Bennett's burst, then of course that's even a further attack increase. With Barbara, I'm able to heal with Xiao, given that Xiao's burst does drain his life points. So overall, this would be something that you would look at. Ideally, you could even trade Barbara out with 𝘱𝘰𝘯, who was coming up and is my current plan to go for. But that's more or less a team that you would want to look for him. You do want a shielder for sure. If you can have a healer, ideally Bennett could be the attack increase and your healer. You do want a battery, whether it be someone like Venti, Kazuha, Jean, Sucrose in my case, and then of course everyone's favorite emo boy, Xiao himself. That more or less is going to be a pretty solid team for Xiao. So what exactly does make Xiao so great then? Well, as previously said, his overworld mechanics does make clearing mobs out extremely easy, extremely fun. Not only that, his skill does come pretty useful across a lot of different cases. Instead of just gliding, you're able just to double press E or whatever you have your keybind to, and again, instead of gliding, you can just land exactly where you need to. And if you have his C1, you actually get an extra charge. So instead of 2 times, you can do it 3 times. I do find myself quite often using the skill over just gliding, and it definitely is something that I wish could be across all the players in the game, but unfortunately it is only devoted to Xiao. Not only that, when it comes to traversing the side of mountains, his passive talent will decrease the climbing stamina consumption for your own party by 20%. So with that, you're able to climb mountains at a much further distance before you do run out of stamina, which could be the difference between making it to the peak or falling to your death. Along with that, we do get the double anemo resonance, being decreased stamina consumption by 15% overall, and it does increase your movement speed by 10%. Not only that, it will shorten your skill cooldown by 5%. Now yes, I'm just going on tangents and literally just reading what the game offers and just pretty much reinstating that. But overall, Xiao is a super fun character to use. Not only when it comes to exploration, but when it comes to defeating trash mobs, running domains, even trounce domains, he overall just makes the content a lot more fun to do. And given with the state that I'm in for my account, my main focus is pulling new characters instead of pulling constellations. So when I get to a point that I do have every single character, would I definitely see myself pulling for constellations for Xiao? Absolutely. 110% I would. And I have seen that when you get him to C6, he actually is a total different monster, being that you're able to spam his skill pretty much non-stop. So should he be someone you pull within the week before the banner ends? If you haven't already, I say definitely do it. If you end up losing your 50-50 for Xiao, then you can at least save it for like 𝘰𝘠𝑢 or 𝘱𝘰𝑠̲ coming up in the future. Or if he is someone that you want, again, if you do lose it, then at least you do guarantee your chances to pull him that second time around. And even with mediocre investment, as long as you get him to level 70 or 80 and build him at least somewhat decently, you will see good damage out of him. While it won't be great by any means, it'll still be good enough to where you will notice a difference, especially if you have pretty trash characters like I do. You'll notice a better DPS increase with him over someone else. At least that's what it was like in my case. That's it for me though. I am just ranting on. Again, my answer, should you pull Xiao? Absolutely. Do it before it's too late. If you've lost your prior 50-50, go for him one more time. If you want to save that 50-50 for 𝘰𝘠𝑢 or 𝘱𝘰𝑠̲, again, you can absolutely do that. If you don't have some crazy DPS, then you can go for 𝘰𝘠𝑢. But if you do have an absolute cracked out crazy DPS, then go for 𝘱𝘰𝑠̲, because he will only make your DPS hit that much harder with his elemental resistance plus the shield. Not only that, his burst does petrify enemies, which keeps them essentially frozen for a little while, so there's just that much more added on to it. But if you want a good overworld character, a good domain character, and even a decent abyss character, then my 110% recommendation will be Xiao. But that's my perspective of a fake Xiao main. Pull for him if you haven't already, guys. Just do it. Let me know down below what you guys want to do. If you're going to be pulling for Xiao, if you're going to wait for 𝘰𝘠𝑢 or 𝘱𝘰𝑠̲, or even some other characters in the future. We are seeing some pretty promising banners coming up, even a bunch of new characters, and I'm excited to see what the future is going to bring for these new characters. So do expect some content on them, should I be lucky enough to get them. Being a mostly free-to-play player, I'm not exactly a whale, I'm more of a dolphin. I'm a super light spender. But that's it from me, guys. If you haven't already, drop the video a like. It does help me out getting my videos recommended to the algorithm. Subscribe. It's completely free to do. If you don't like the content later on, you can always unsubscribe. I may cry at night, but it's okay. And that's it from me. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, guys.